Welcome into NFL Daily. Harrison Graham and Tom Downey. We're going to answer some of your questions on our live mailbag. Join us every Monday and Wednesday at 4 o'clock Eastern, 3 o'clock Central Time. We'll start with Lisa here. What do you think about starting Tua versus the Bills? I'm conflicted.
I think you have to do it. So
Okay.
I'm curious what you're conflicted by.
If I am focused on the here and now and making the playoffs, I think Fitzpatrick gives me a better chance. That's the conflict.
I kind of like the system that they're using where Tua's the starter and Fitzpatrick is the volatile closer. In the end, I think you have to keep rolling with Tua. What I want this team to do is let him sling it more. And I know you don't have the pieces you truly want to do that on offense,
Game
but
Grant's out
just
again.
take your Fitzpatrick game plan and put Tua in it. Because there's a difference there in terms of the way that they play when those quarterbacks are in there. It's kind of cowardice by Chan Gailey.
The Fitzpatrick game plan, YOLO throws when you're getting sacked by the face mask.
This next one here on NFL Daily is coming in from Miami fan 23. I'm almost curious if you're the person in this picture. Is DeVante Parker playing in Week 17? This is an interesting question, and I know a lot of Dolphins fans want Parker to end up going because they're playing the Bills. It's a huge game in terms of playoff implications. Now, he's missed weeks 15 and 16 with a hamstring injury, but that hamstring injury has been bothering all the way time, probably back to training camp.
Hamstrings linger, man.
I mean, it just, he's not been able to get rid of it. He was hoping to be able to play in Week 15. He was a game-time scratch, hoping to play Week 16 on Saturday. Then he was a scratch again. Now, obviously, they're hopeful, and they're going to continue to be hopeful. But if you're Miami, you need your top receiver out there. So here's what Brian Flores had to say on DeVante Parker. He's getting close. When he's ready, we'll get him out there. He's doing everything he can to get back out there. He was practicing all week. So I actually thought Parker was going to be able to go because he was at practice. He was getting geared up. And then it was a very, very late scratch. The other reason why it is very important for Parker to play, he's the top receiving option for Tua, for Ryan Fitzpatrick, whoever ends up starting. And also there's another name on screen here, actually two names. Preston Williams, he's out, plus Jakeem Grant, which, yeah, we'll probably have to get to him in just a second. He's probably not going to end up playing either.
Yeah, and look, all I got to say is feed Myles Gaskin because he's coming off the best game of his season. So Parker may not go. Grant, we know, isn't going to go. Williams is out as well. A lot of key players, Mitch, out for the Dolphins heading into this critical matchup between them and the Buffalo Bills where it might be a win to get in situation. We know it is, but you may have to win, assuming you may not get help from other teams.
So go down in the comments, predict the score. The Buffalo Bills up against the Miami Dolphins. I mean, anytime you got to travel to Buffalo, when you're a team that's used to playing in Florida.
It's windy. It's cold.
That's not going to be easy. What's your score prediction for Buffalo against the Dolphins? I'm going to go 27-20 Bills win.
Yeah, that's about. I'll say 28-17 Bills. Well, since Tua's been up and down, should the Dolphins consider drafting a quarterback in the top 5? Of course, they do have Houston's first-round pick.
Yeah, that's what makes this a unusual, but also at least worth having a conversation of question. Miami might get the number 3 overall pick.
Yep.
So you might get to pick between Tua and it's kind of pick your flavor, either Zach Wilson or Justin Fields and probably Trey Lance as well. I think if you're Miami, again, part of the reason you made the move to Tua was to get him playing time because this scenario might occur.
Yep.
And Tua's TD interception ratio looks great. My number one problem with the way the Dolphins have handled Tua has frankly been the offense. It is much more of a dialed-back attack, and there's some it's some confirmation bias, probably using the wrong term here, but Fitzpatrick comes in when the game's not in great shape, normally.
Yeah.
So he's going to naturally be more aggressive.
When he thrives.
And that's when he thrives. So I think for the Dolphins, don't go quarterback in the top 5. Provided you still believe in Trey Lance. I'm sure that they do. I want to see him in a more unleashed offense, use more empty personnel. I know the receiving core is banged up, and
I think
that's a problem.
That's been part of the problem and why they've reined it in is because Preston Wilson and some of those guys have been banged up. DeVante Parker's been out. Gesicki missed some games. So I think it's been more of a conservative approach. Let's run the football, play some defense with our elite defense in Miami, which, of course, that they have. But I do think there could be a possibility that if Miami, I don't know, what if Tua plays in Week 17 and is horrible and they miss the playoffs? Maybe that changes things, but I still think it's pretty unlikely.
Now, look, you're not going to get Trevor Lawrence. That would have been A very different conversation, by the way.
Like if Houston had the
if
worst.
they got number one, we'd have to talk about that.
That's a Kyler Josh Rosen.
Look, the next two guys, Fields, Wilson, Lance, it's kind of a pick your flavor. They all got strengths. They all got weaknesses. There is a risk involved with all of them.
Yes.
And Tua has not been a Josh Rosen, a Dwayne Haskins, a Paxton Lynch-style quarterback. He's been better than that.
Yep.
So for a guy who's stayed healthy, battled injuries, I don't think you punt on that yet for what is only another lottery pick.
I agree with you.
So I think from that perspective, you just roll with the guy you got. You stick with Tua.
So we'll ask you guys, should Miami draft a quarterback in round 1? Type Y for yes, type N for no. If you think they should, type Y if you're like me and Tom and say, hey, let's give Tua another year or two. You drafted him number 5 for a reason. Type your N for no. By the way, Brian Flores, great job with how he's managed this. Both his quarterbacks have bought in for whatever reason. It's been absolutely
Maybe they
fantastic.
go full-time two-quarterback system.
Hey, he's figured out the
with a new
QB
rookie
system. Y for yes or N for no. Today's mailbag, of course, is presented by Manscaped. Get the Lawnmower 3.0 and all of their great items at manscaped.com/chat. 20% off and free shipping at checkout. Tom, the Lawnmower 3.0, you're not going to have any tug on the hair down there. You might get some tug later, but not when you're actually performing what
innuendo.
I call the surgery, which is, of course, shaving down below. I couldn't find the right razor for me for years, so I basically gave up on it. And then my friends at Manscaped was like, hey, give us the Lawnmower 3.0. Give us the Lawnmower 3.0. Give it a try. I said, okay, I'll give it a try. No issues ever since. My wife loves it. It's a great deal. Manscaped.com/chat. 20% off and free shipping. And if you folks would like to help us out, we would greatly appreciate it. Do us a favor. Manscaped, one of our biggest sponsors at Chat Sports. They've helped us out in 2020 in what's been a tough year for a lot of you guys, I'm sure. Do us a favor. Really simple. If you have an Instagram or want to create one real quick and help us out, comment Chat Sports on their most recent post. You just go to their most recent post once you go to their Manscaped account, at Manscaped on Instagram, and just type Chat Sports and hit enter. That's all you got to do. Let's let them know that Chat Sports is the most dedicated YouTube channel out there, and we appreciate them over at Manscaped. I already showed you guys that I did it earlier. I commented Chat Sports. That's the post right there. It's showing some of their products right there. You click on that post, comment Chat Sports. Let's get hundreds in there if we can.
That'd be great, guys.
Let's get as many as we can. Let's show Manscaped that they are a badass sponsor and an awesome company because, like I said, the Lawnmower 3.0, Tom, it's the best item out there.
You're not going to find a better men's grooming tool, and they help us out here at Chat Sports. So if you guys can help us as well, that'd be absolutely fantastic.
Senior Pocket again. Where is Fitzmagic heading next year? Where would you like to see him?
Well, he could go be a better starting quarterback than the guy the team currently has. How about the Steelers?
Ooh, interesting. More questions on our mailbag. A super chat from Troy Daniels. We appreciate it. With there not being a true home field advantage this year, do you see any surprise teams that may upset a top-seeded team in either conference? Real quick, shout out to the Bills, 6,700 fans at home playoff games this year. That came through the pipeline on Wednesday, so missed an opportunity for 6,900
For Bills
fans.
Mafia, too. What are you doing out there?
But, hey, we're close. What do you think about this, though?
Look, in actually the past 2 years, across the NFL, including regular season, the value of the home field has actually dropped to about it being an even split. And that's down substantially from 10, 15 years ago. I think part of that is teams are getting smarter in terms of how to travel properly.
Yeah.
I think that matters there. But in terms of potential upsets, I'm looking over at the AFC, Harrison, because I see a very tight-knit wild card race.
3 through 7, really 8, because one of those teams is going to get left out.
I mean, I think the obvious answer is Pittsburgh gets upset.
Yeah, I think they definitely could. I know they bounced back nicely in the second half against Indianapolis, but they lost to Cincinnati the week before that. So I think that's a team to keep in mind there, Troy. Cole Allen next up. Who is the 7th best quarterback in the draft? Let me give my guess because I know you're the draft.
You go.
Top 4 are obvious.
Yeah.
It's Lawrence, Fields and/or Lawrence. That's 2 and 3, whichever order you want. Trey Lance. I think that's 4.
Wilson, you meant. You said Trevor twice.
Oh, I meant Wilson and
Fields, Lance. Yeah. You're right.
Wilson, Fields, whatever order.
Yep.
Those are your top 4.
Okay.
I'm going to say 5 is Kyle Trask for me. Mac Jones 6, Desmond Ridder 7?
I think you got it right.
Okay.
I think Desmond Ridder out of Cincinnati is the 7th best quarterback this year. You can look at guys like a Jamie Newman from, I'm going to say Wake, since he never played at Georgia. You can go Kellen Mond if you want to go Texas A&M.
I'm out
but
on Mond.
Ritter brings those things that those other guys do. He's a good athlete, good arm, good size, but he's also just a better college player. I'm going to go Desmond Ritter there. I think he's more of a day 3 guy.
I think Ritter's a nice day 3 option because he's probably never going to be a starter, but I think he has a better chance of being a stable backup. Whereas Kellen Mond, maybe you hit the 5% chance that he becomes a starter.
He's boom or bust.
Or he's out of the league in 3 years. That's probably what's going to happen there. I'd rather take Desmond Ritter. And I would love for you guys to subscribe to the channel because we go live every Monday and Wednesday, and we have mailbags every Monday and Wednesday. If you want to be a part of these Q&As, subscribe, number 1. And 2, join us on our live shows. Monday and Wednesday, new time alert, 4 o'clock Eastern until further notice, sometimes 6 o'clock Eastern. Join us every Monday and Wednesday.
Just subscribe. You'll be notified a half hour in advance.
Exactly. There you go. Senior Pocket, #NFL. How detrimental would it be for teams drafting their scouts at limited or no access due to college football due to COVID?
They'll be okay because even though it's going to be tougher to get word from the coaches and the sideline stuff and all of that, they have all the film.
Yep.
And that's going to be the most important thing for those scouts. Now, you might see some ripple effects down the road with not as good relationships with some of those other members of the staff and whatnot, but I think it'll be fine. Where you might run into trouble is Combine Pro Day stuff. That could be where the biggest impact is felt.